So, JDS versus Francis Ngannou just happened. And anytime you're about to talk about a fight that just happened, and part of what you're about to say sounds anything like, I knew this was going to happen, I figured this was going to happen, I guessed this was going to happen, it's very difficult to say something like that without coming off as extremely cocky and like a know it all. And the truth is that that's not how I'm trying to come off. Because, I mean, let's be real here. We really don't know what's going to happen in fights, especially when we're talking about heavyweight fighters. These guys are extremely big, they're very powerful, and they're swinging extremely powerful shots at each other. We don't know what's going to happen. Fighting is so chaotic, even when you have a game plan, even when you think you have every single thing figured out. It does not take much to change the whole entire course of a fight. So it's going to be inaccurate for anyone to say, I knew what was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen, or I know what's going to happen. Now, the one thing we can do, though, even though we don't know what's going to happen, the one thing we can do is make educated guesses. And when someone says they're making an educated guess, they're talking about a guess based on something tangible, something like evidence, something that you can prove. And in this fight, particularly, for example, I'll give you guys an example. When someone says, when you fight Khabib Nurmagomedov, it's very likely you're going to get mauled. That's not the person saying they know what's going to happen. That's the person making an educated guess because there is evidence. Every single person who's ever faced Khabib has been mauled. So, with this fight specifically, before the fight happened, one of the things that I did was I put out a tweet. And in that tweet, I expressed a few concerns specifically for Junior Dos Santos. And those concerns had to do with his tendency to throw the overhand shot. Now, I'm a fan of JDS. I've been watching Junior Dos Santos for a very long time, and I do know the fighter. I know him as a fighter. I know the strikes that he enjoys to throw. I do know his setups. And the guess or the concern that I put out was it is way too dangerous to throw overhand punches at Francis Ngannou. And why was I able to say that? I was able to say that because there is evidence to back that up. For example, when Francis Ngannou faced Andrei Arlovsky, what happened? Andrei Arlovsky threw a right overhand at Francis Ngannou, and expertly he was able to slide out of the way just enough to counter with a beautiful right uppercut that sent Andrei Arlovsky crashing to the canvas, knocked out. Example number two, when Francis Ngannou faced Alistair Overeem, who is an accomplished kickboxer, the same exact thing happened. Overeem went in there, threw an overhand. Francis Ngannou again was able to expertly slide out the way and was able to counter that shot. Now, when thinking about Junior Dos Santos as a fighter, what is one of his favorite shots to throw? It's the overhand. And when there's already evidence that throwing overhand punches at Francis Ngannou is a recipe for disaster, it's very easy to come to the conclusion that maybe it is not a good idea for JDS to throw the overhand shot. That's not me pretending like I am a fighter or pretending like I would be able to do better. That's just me having an eye. That's just me being observant and seeing what could possibly happen in the fight. So before the fight happened, I talked about it and I said, if I was JDS, if I was in his corner, I would advise against throwing looping shots, specifically the overhand shots. When you're facing a fighter as powerful, as extremely powerful as Francis Ngannou, it's wise to stick with straight punches. For example, when you guys watch the way Stipe Miocic struck, how he was striking with Francis, he wasn't throwing any looping shots. Every single shot he was throwing was kept very tight. He focused mostly on jabs, straights, and takedowns. He kept it as simple as possible. That is the best way to face someone as powerful as Ngannou. You don't give them the opportunity to counter you with something big like that. Now, when the fight started, when this fight versus Ngannou and JDS started, you expected both of them to come out and throw punches because that is what they're known for. But the first thing that we noticed, was Ngannou has improved. He's added new weapons to his arsenal. He started out throwing leg kicks, but not just any type of leg kicks. He's now throwing the the calf kick, which has become very popular in MMA. I mean, thinking back, the fighter that I remember that I would say started throwing the calf kick in the UFC was Benson Henderson, but now it is so popular, everyone's throwing them. So starting things off, Francis Ngannou leads with the right leg kick, and he is throwing them extremely powerful. And then Junior Dos Santos, on the other hand, who we all know is a boxer. Of course, he has other tools in his arsenal, but we know him primarily as a boxer. So you would expect him to mostly focus on boxing. No, he returns a leg kick to Francis Ngannou that knocks him down. Now, I want you to imagine, understand how powerful you need to be to drop a man as big as Francis Ngannou with one kick. So when JDS did that, personally, I was like, oh my goodness, there is something right there. There's something huge, something big right there that can bring you success. And I thought that he was going to follow that path. The path of keeping himself safe, staying away from the cage, using mostly straight shots, working the legs, and perhaps looking for a takedown. But that's not what he did. In the first round, Junior Dos Santos throws a looping overhand right, which, of course, like Francis Ngannou has shown in the past that he is absolutely capable of, he was able to slide out the way and counter with a beautiful right uppercut, followed up with a weird right hook over the top while JDS had his back turned, and that was it. That was it. So far, what Ngannou has been able to show is, regardless of the fact that he is green, regardless of the fact that he is brand new to this game, and he has not been training MMA for a very long time. Definitely not as long as some of the guys he's beaten. I mean, let's look at Overeem. Alistair Overeem was a K1 champion for a very long time. He's an accomplished striker. He didn't make it out first round with Ngannou. Look at someone like Andrei Arlovsky. He has been fighting forever. He himself he didn't survive. Cain Velasquez is a former heavyweight champion and has been fighting for a very long time as well. Before that, he had a world of experience in wrestling. He didn't make it out the first round versus Francis Ngannou. And JDS has ridiculous amount of experience when it comes to boxing. He's a world champion and he's an experienced mixed martial artist. He himself could not make it out the first round against Ngannou. What this man has proven is that he is not the type of fighter to take chances with. You know, a lot of times fighters go in there and a lot of the things that they do very, very well can put them in trouble, and they go back to that well because it's what they're used to. But with Francis Ngannou, you cannot take any chances with that man. You cannot make a mistake. The margin for error is so small with him. You have to be perfect the whole entire time. You look at the way Stipe fought him. You have to approach the man like he is a ticking time bomb, like he's a nuclear weapon just waiting to blow up in your face. That is the only way to fight him. You make a mistake, you zig when you should zag, you zag when you should zig. You throw a looping overhand shot at him and he grazes you. He does not even, look at all the guys he's been dropping. The last time he actually hit someone really clean, I'm talking with all of his power, that was Overeem. Overeem got the brunt of it. But everyone else, it looks like he just touches them. He grazes them and they fall. That is how powerful that man is. And looking at the heavyweight division right now, we've got Stipe Miocic about to fight DC. It's very, very interesting. It's an interesting fight, a rematch between Francis and Stipe, absolutely. But it's also a lot more interesting when you consider the fact that DC could end up facing Francis Ngannou, especially because DC has been talking about retiring. Is this the type of challenge that's going to keep him around? We all know DC is a competitor. He wakes up for the challenge. He loves the challenge, and he is good enough to rise to the occasion. So now that he has seen someone extremely compelling, someone that he has more skills than, someone that there is a clear path to victory over when it comes to grappling, when you look at DC, is it possible that this is going to get him up and get him excited? Like, oh my goodness, a brand new challenge, someone that is scary, someone everyone believe is the next big thing. Is this going to keep DC around? We don't know. But all we know is that whoever it is that ends up fighting Francis Ngannou again, you cannot take chances. For God's sake, you cannot throw looping shots. You got to keep your shots straight down the pipe. And again, this is an opinion of someone who's not a fighter, someone who does not fight MMA. I'm just a person with eyes, someone that's observant, someone that has seen these shots and have seen how Francis is able to counter them. So, big congratulations to Francis Ngannou. There is no secret that I wanted JDS to win, but I'm also happy for Francis. He's African. I'm African. I'm happy for my African brother. I'm very, very glad to see him doing well in the UFC, and I'm very curious to see what other tools the man is going to add to his arsenal. He already said that he is working, and he came into this fight with a game plan. I remember one of the things he said was that they noticed that JDS has really good movement, and the game plan was to come in and use leg kicks to slow him down. So this is a man that's now coming into the game, into a fight with a game plan, with a plan. That plus his brain rattling power, man, you have an extremely difficult puzzle to solve, an extremely difficult combination, and the heavyweight division is officially on notice. But that is it. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are about the main event. That is all I want to talk about today, because that's the one that really caught my eye. It blows my mind that someone on Junior's level, his experience, his knowledge. I mean, he's not a dumb guy. He's a very intelligent fighter, but to see a fighter at that level make that kind of mistake, especially considering the fact that they must have watched tape. They saw what he did to Alistair Overeem. They saw what he did to Arlovsky when they threw overhands at him. And for him to make that mistake is very shocking to me, coming from someone like JDS. And it's possible they trained it. It's possible it was not part of the game plan. It's possible he went off script. It's all possible, but we'll never know. Anyways, that does it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like and let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about the fight. Who do you guys think Ngannou should fight next? Do you think he has what it takes to become champion? Specifically, do you think he has what it takes to beat DC? I'm specifically talking about DC because I do believe DC is going to beat Stipe again. Do you think Ngannou can beat Daniel Cormier? Daniel Cormier. Gee, I can't. Let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you guys later. Stay safe.